So the final installment of the Hunger Games, Mockingjay Part 2. Welcome, guys, to Think About It Reviews, and I just got back from watching the last of the Hunger Game movies, and I don't want, I'm not going to give a rating right now, I'm just saying, it starred, directed, and, starred, I'm just kidding, I'm sorry, it's directed by Francis Lawrence, starring Jennifer Lawrence, Josh Hutcherson, Liam Hemsworth, Woody Harrelson, Elizabeth Banks, Julianne Moore, the late Philip Seymour Hoffman. I mean, so many people in this film. Now, going into this film, I was like, okay, well, The Hunger Games, Mockingjay Part 2, am I ready for... I wasn't excited for this film. Let's just say that. The last film was okay, it was good enough, but going into this film, I wasn't really excited. I think out of all these films, including this one, I think the second one really brought something to the table. I think the second one was the best one out of all of them. So where does this lead this one? Where do I rank this one? I think this one's okay. It's fine. It's not that... And, I mean, if you think about it, there's a lot of story tropes in here that we've seen thousands of times. There's a lot of stupidity in here. It's just overall, and it's kind of, when you think about it, it's just, this whole movie was about them trying to get to the Capitol and kill Snow. That was the whole thing. And how media play a lot of politics. It's a lot of politics, especially with this character named Coin that's played by Julianne Moore, and especially, of course, with Snow played by Donald Sutherland. I mean, what can I say? But we're back with Katniss, and the strain that her and Peeta have in this film. It's definitely, I thought Peeta, it's funny. I thought the only reason Peeta went with this crew to go get, or to really, they're in the battlefield, but Katniss's main objective is to kill Snow. But the only reason he was in the whole unit was because I'm assuming you saw the film, was because, it's Peeta, and we need Peeta to interact with Katniss, and we need Peeta and Katniss, they're going to end up together at the end. So how the hell do we make this happen? Right now they're not in a very good place. I thought some scenes in this film actually worked really good. Like when Jennifer Lawrence was, Katniss was trying to, talk again. She was having a hard time talking. When Peeta just straight out says, I hate you. Finnick. Oh my god. We'll get to Finnick in a minute. Finnick's scene was fantastic, I thought. But the overall propaganda and the overall, playing to sway the politics, the strings behind the scenes, it was all good and fine, but this film left me so not satisfied. It did. You would think it would be a grander spectacle of a film for the conclusion of the Hunger Games, but it's not. It kind of whimpers out, honestly, and that's not really a bad thing, but that's not a good thing. It's really right there neutral, and overall, I felt like this film, when it worked, I think some Katniss and Peeta scenes really did work. I really did, especially when he tells her real or not real. I thought that was pretty good. I thought some of the Finnick, I really like Finnick as a character, but bringing him over from the second film, I really like that character, but I feel like he didn't get too much of a shine in here either. Woody Harrelson is barely really in this film, honestly. Coin, Julianne Moore, I really started really just disliking her in this film. I didn't really care for her in the other film, but this film I really did not like her, especially when she was trying some bullshit and trying to get another Hunger Games at the end of this film. Snow. Okay, the thing with Snow is he's dying already, so he don't give up. He just don't care. You can see him coughing up blood and stuff. Like, he's an old man with some of the scenes were kind of funny. Like, his face was face first on his desk, and I was like, is this what is going on with this guy? I mean, he doesn't care. He didn't really care, honestly. I never read the books, and I guess it stayed true, very much true to the books. But I kind of called a lot of the shit that was happening. First of all, I called that when they were the rebels were taking over the Capitol we're going to the pretty much the White House, and you see everybody reaching up for these canisters, like, you know, set from the first Hunger Games. I knew that those were bombs. I was like, it's gonna explode, watch. And it exploded. I knew that it wasn't Snow who delivered those bombs. It was actually Katniss and the Revolution. I knew that. So I haven't read the book or anything like that. So I absolutely knew exactly what was going to happen. Prim did cheat a little bit. I knew Prim was going to die. Prim, the way she died and the way Katniss kind of like went through that process. I mean, the scene with her and the cat was pretty good, but beforehand, you think she would go a little bit mad and crazy, but she doesn't. She really doesn't. She just she's not. She never seems really in shock with Prim until that scene where everything boils. You know, everything is finally boiling up, and she has that scene with the cat. Sure, yeah, but I would think she would be a little bit more devastated when Prim's death in the very beginning stages, and then also with him, with her and what's his name, Liam Hemsworth's character. You see, I don't really like that character, honestly. He's whatever. He's like, oh, Katniss, love me, this and that. What the hell's his name? Well, anyway, like, yeah, him. Gale. His name is Gale. That's right. It was Gale. Him and Katniss, the whole relationship they had, and it just like fizzles out, and they don't even really talk to each other anymore. That was a little odd too when they kind of split. And I get the reasoning that Katniss, like, did you know about it and this and that, but it didn't seem like it was executed in the right way. The sci-fi elements were weird. I mean, don't get me started in Cheetah Lady or Cat Lady or whatever her name is. I mean, that was weird. That just kind of came out of nowhere, honestly, with the chick who is a like, you know, like a cheater or whatever. That was weird. That was weird. And I guess she established a relationship with the chick who had the camera, the one that had half hair and half not. Also, we had. What was also weird in the sci-fi element was these, I guess they were supposed to be lizard people, but I viewed them as like Resident Evil monsters going after Katniss and the crew. And I knew they were going to go in the sewers. I was like, oh, the one place where, you know, they can avoid everything, the sewers, and or underneath the underground. I was like, oh my God, I've seen this 1,000 times in the film. Come on, use your brain. Oh, there's one part too, but I'll get to that in a minute. But yeah, those lizard men or whatever they were, I mean, it was a really cool scene. Absolutely, I thought it was really great action. I mean, it was an intense, emotional scene, fights and stuff. But I'm like, where did this sci-fi element come? Where did this come from? A lot of sci-fi. Like, I saw the new Divergent preview and I was like, what? Like, what? This is not fitting the tone at all. And that scene, as cool as it was, it doesn't fit the tone of the Hunger Games. I'm like, the Hunger Games has strayed away from their actual source material. And then you had Finnick, man, my boy Finnick. I mean, he doesn't have too much in this film, but when he bites the dust, it sucked. And I absolutely hated when he's like, Katniss, and Katniss just drops a bomb and he blows. I mean, that scene sucked. I was like, why did they have to kill off Finnick? Really? I mean, you saw that a mile away, but still, I was a little disappointed in that. And then there's one particular scene where first of all, the dude who was leading the group dies. He gets blown up, and he gives Katniss the hollow, I believe it's called. It's only for her, and that's how, you know, everybody follows her, and she's still going after Snow. But that scene with all the tar or whatever that's going after them, and they're inside the building, and they go to the second story and stuff, was stupid. Like there's way too much convenience in this film. Like the tar or whatever, the black ooze just stops right when they're in the last kind of, you know, the last, let's say, story, pretty much. I mean, it was like a 2-story deal or 3-story deal. Like the last kind of where they were, it just stops. It says, oh my God, we just barely made it. Like, come on, man. Come on, writers. You could think differently. You can make these kids survive the Hunger Games, or well, Katniss did, and Peeta and Finnick. Have them think their way out of this without using, oh my God, what a coincidence. They didn't have enough tar. They didn't have enough black ooze to get us. Like, that was dumb. Also, what was dumb was the two sisters that get blown up, and then everybody thinks Katniss is dead, so nobody wants to go check. Yeah, they would be incinerated, and it'd be there really would be nothing really to check, but it doesn't hurt, right? I mean, I've seen movies where, like, let's say Fury, there's something blows up in that building, people check and like, yeah, she did. So I mean, come on. But overall, it was an okay film. It wasn't as satisfying as the ending. I was a hope for this Hunger Game franchise. If you want really something to bite your teeth into, but I don't think the sequel's that good at all, is Battle Royale. I still feel like they kind of, come on, Battle Royale, buddy, Battle Royale. But the Hunger Games did its job. I mean, I did like how Katniss and Peeta ended up together in the very end. I think that relationship is good, really good in a lot of stuff, and you do miss it in the last film, the Katniss and Peeta relationship. You want to see them interact a lot more, but then sometimes it's kind of like, okay, whatever. But because Katniss doesn't like to make up her mind. But overall, I did enjoy the film. I just think there was a few kind of too many tropes, too many stuff were too lackluster. The simplicity of it, even though there's a lot of politics behind it. I mean, it's them trying to go from point A to point B. I felt like the film was long, but it needed to be long, but I felt like it was long. I felt fatigued. I felt tired, honestly. I felt like I wanted to take a nap. Overall, The Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 2, it works in some elements, and I think people will be okay with the ending of all this, but the satisfactory, it's not there. The weight of it is just not there at the very end. I mean, you do get your little happy ending, but it just seems like they lost so much. Did they really win this, honestly? But I was very satisfied when Katniss kills Coin, because I was like, yeah, and I knew that was going to happen too. I was like, she's going to kill Coin. After Coin suggests another Hunger Games, after she appoints herself of ruling the capital for the time being, like, this bitch. But overall, some of the action sequences really worked. Some of the scenes were kind of lackluster and kind of a little bit boring, but Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 2 is a okay film. It's a fine film, just something that I wouldn't really pay my money. I can't recommend you I recommend you just watching it at home. I can't recommend you going into the theaters and watching this. I think there's other movies out there. Maybe they're Hunger Games. I think we got a little fatigued in Hunger Games because I know it didn't do as good in the box office as they hoped. So, thank you guys for listening. If you haven't already, please subscribe. Would really appreciate. Hit that subscribe button for more reviews. Like the video if you like it, and comment below. Love to hear your guys' thoughts. I'm Dan Man and Danny's son. Like I always say, grab a tick, grab a seat. Make sure you got some good popcorn to eat because I didn't have any. I'll see you at the cinema. Bye, guys.